Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan M.S. Pearce. I'm going to be joined somehow soon, joined by Rick the Ukrainian. He is already doing a live stream at the moment and we are going to integrate our lives and it will all be fine. I hope. I have no idea how that's going to work, but I'm sure it will. We have done this before, but it's a new one where I have just been live streaming, and he then suddenly, I think we've started together rather than this kind of join in the middle thing. But anyway, hopefully you guys are well out there in the world. I am in honor of Rick the Ukrainian's attempts to raise some money for his NAFO campaign. That's why we're getting together. It's a bit slow, his NAFO campaign, so I'm joining in. I have a cup of tea. I would love a beer, to be honest. It's a lovely warm day out there, but I've got a cup of tea instead, run out of beer, in my NAFO mug, and you can't get better than that. In fact, it's a double NAFO mug. Many of you know this. Someone put on Discord today that they got one of these mugs. I need to look at that. Benny Pie showed me. It's got both NAFO patches, one on each side. It is a beautiful mug, and I'll tell you what, as I've said before, the tea tastes 42% better from drinking from that mug. So, and that is a fact. It's been scientifically proven. I don't know if I can say that actually, because it clearly hasn't. I don't want to be done in a court of law. Okay, in my head, it's been scientifically proven that all tea drunk from that mug is 42% better tasting. So what are we going to talk about today? I don't know, because we don't have Rick here, and hopefully we will pretty soon. I'd better send him a text saying, "Where are you? Where are you?" I have done a geopolitics video, which I rather foolishly only released an hour ago, so most people probably haven't finished watching that. And that is out for your delectation. I did my normal hits and losses video this morning. I did an Epstein video, and I've got another American video that I'm going to release later tonight. I have quite a bit of American content, American political content coming out, partly because so much is happening, and partly because actually it's just been stacking up for some time. And it's got to a critical point. I've been releasing so much other stuff. So it's going to be quite American heavy for the next couple of days. And remember, you don't have to watch everything. And I know some of you are like, oh, you know, stop concentrating so much on this or concentrate more on that. Or it is what it is. I do what I do. If you like it, awesome. If you don't want to watch that video, you don't have to. Some of you are like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about with regard to American politics, and others of you are like, you absolutely nail American politics, and it turns out that if you agree with what I say, you like it, and if you don't agree with it, you're like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's a partisan divide, isn't it? But there you go. So thank you to Cheryl, who is, oh, here's Rick. Hey, there you are, my man.
Hello, Johnny. Good to see you.
Hey. You are not very well today. Is that right?
I'm what? Sorry.
You said you weren't very well to me earlier on WhatsApp. You sound okay to me.
Yeah, man. You can hear it by my voice, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this. I don't know what is it, a flu, a virus, a COVID. I'm gonna do a test tomorrow morning. Ordered some portable test, and I cannot get over it in 3 days. Yesterday I felt better. I felt shitty yesterday, but better than today. Today it's even worse. So
You need to drink tea, the good Yorkshire tea from a NAFO mug. I was saying, like, in honor of your campaign, I've got my NAFO mug out with my patches. So cheers, mate.
cheers. I'm drinking water for now.
What's the Ukrainian word for cheers?
Budьмо.
Bujmo.
You probably heard this one already, right?
Probably, but my memory is like a sieve. So how have you been, Rick? It's been quite a long time since we chatted.
Yeah, and I wanted to have more like common activities with you. but it's sometimes hard to catch you, Johnny. And like, no offense taken.
I am just insanely busy. It just I have so many platforms and people contacting me, and people complaining that I don't give them enough time and whatnot. And like literally, I don't give my children enough time. Like
Oh shit.
someone else on the internet, I'm not going to be able to devote more time than you than my own children. So I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, yeah. So I was crazy busy. Sorry, Rick.
No worries, man. No need to apologize. I understand how it is. I'm not as popular as you, but I I also know that feel, bro. So give me a second. I'll put you on the screen on my stream on my end, because I want rollers to see you too, not just me. Um, so
Well, I
just a
don't know that
second.
I don't know that's a wise thing to do, to be honest, Rick. I'm no oil painting. Um, but there you go. I'll tell you what, Rick. I'm because I'm feeling quite bellicose, which is a posh way of saying warlike. Because I'm
What's
feeling
that?
it's a word bellicose. It comes from the Latin bellus or belly or whatever for war means war. So if you're bellicose, it means you're quite warlike. And I'm not really a war person, apart from this war in Ukraine has made me more bellicose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, my days of pacifism now, I think pacifism is great until you have a just war, and I think this is a very much a just war that's going on. But
Yeah.
but I have taken to spending a little bit because these aren't cheap, right? But I did recently, last year actually, spend a bit of money on this gun, and I'm going to show you a gun. And
Oh,
this is
nice.
quite the thing. This is a bug assault weapon, assault, ASALT, assault, as in it fires salt, table salt. And you put, but it's fly time this time of year. It's the middle of summer. It's pretty warm. There are flies around. So I've just spent the last quarter of an hour running around. Well, running, I don't run. Waddling around my kitchen, trying to shoot flies. And do you know what? I do quite enjoy that. I'm sorry if you people feel sorry for flies, but I do like shooting a fly with a. So
Does it work like a shotgun? I mean, like the
yes,
spread is pretty
yeah.
big, right?
Well, yeah, you want to get like that far away from it, really, from a fly, which you can. Like you can move up and then and then
And it
just
worked.
all that salt. Just yeah,
Ah, shit. It's a
it is
bit.
a good investment.
Yeah, I mean, like, on one hand, it's great. On the other hand, when I understand that these are the living creatures,
There is
and
that.
it's not the same as watching Russian being decapitated by Ukrainian FPV drones. It's much more painful for me.
Very ow, yeah, ow. I I saw the and I don't like I don't show violent videos on my channel for two
I
reasons.
also don't.
One because it gets censored, right? So it's kind of
Hmm.
pointless.
Yeah.
But two, because I don't want to glorify in violence, and war is horrific, and these are human beings. And I know you might feel different, but I feel that Russians that they're doing terrible things, right? And
Yeah.
totally unjustified. But I see Russians often as complete victims as well, as in they are
Yeah.
victims in a long-term disinformation brainwashing campaign where they're dehumanizing Ukrainians horribly. So that is horrible. But actually,
Yeah.
they are a product of all that has happened in their lives up to then, which you then start looking at the Russian state and saying, right, this is all just a horrific campaign by the state against Ukraine. And these people are the pawns, the victims in that
Yeah.
game.
You see, I actually agree with you, and I can see it in those interviews with Russian prisoners of war. I
Mm,
can see that many of them are just victims of the system, and they were not given any chance to have a good life in Russia, and Russia, with everything in their country, are forcing them to just go and die there, capturing our territory.
mm.
So yeah, I can totally relate to your perception of them as victims, and as living things. To be honest, it's also not given me any like real satisfaction watching that shit. But Madjar lately has been posting so-called Yoblik Dня, which is like the word yoblik is impossible to translate, but that's how he calls it's like a swearing word in Ukrainian, and the same is in Russian. It something has to do with like okay, whatever. So he says he calls that occupiers yobliks, and he is like the yoblik of the day is posting the video every day of how the birds of Madar are like mm, to be pretty direct, decapitating another
Yeah.
Russian occupier, and it's a super graphic video. But and to be honest, I would not like to watch it, but I still go and watch it because first of all, well, in my life I can see anything. Like considering that it's war in Ukraine, and I may end up like being hit by a missile, or someone next to me might be hit by anything, right? And that's first thing. Second thing is I may end up there on the front line someday. You never know. Uh, so these two things are making me feel the need to get prepared to such pictures, to such horrors, because I may witness it with my own eyes, and I will have to act in such situation. I should not freeze. I should act because my life will depend on it. So and the life also of the people who might be in that situation. If someone of my loved ones will be wounded, I gotta be prepared to see all the horrors of the bad injury, right? And I need to be prepared. This is why I'm watching these videos. That's first thing. Secondly, I understand. For us Ukrainians, we have suffered already so much from Russians that we want to see at least some revenge. We want to see at least some of them getting what they deserve. That's the second side of it. How horrifying it is from 0 to 10 for you, Johnny.
Well, so what I was going to go on to say actually, and speaking of the Magyar's videos, I've seen a few of his recently. One where an FPV drone landed next to a Russian soldier lying in the grass, literally next to his head, so that this guy's head looked into the eyes looked into the FPV drone, and then I think it just blew up. You're like, how scary is that? Where you're lying down and the drone it doesn't come and ram you; it just softly lands next to you, and you're like, my life's over. That must be horrible. But I don't know if the one you're talking about, decapitation, and this is a horrible subject. I'm sorry for the listeners, but it's kind of like it is important to talk about this stuff, all aspects of war. This is war, right? I was watching a video the other day, and it's the single worst video I've seen in the whole of this war, and I've seen some horrific stuff that scars you, right? And it was one, I don't know if you've seen this, where they're driving on a quad bike, and it's a guy sitting on the back that has a body cam or a head or a helmet cam, and the guy in front of him is driving, and a drone comes and blows up the guy in front, literally just there, right? And his entire head and shoulders are blown off, like just blown off. And it's the most horrific thing, one of the most horrific things I think I've ever seen. And you just, when you see something like that, like on the one hand it's horrific and I don't want to see things like that, but on the other hand, we also need to understand what war is. And when we talk about statistics of people every day dying, about 1,190 people this morning being killed or injured, we need to understand what that means and what it entails. And so that, like, it's a double-edged sword for me, which is like, it's horrific. I don't want to see that, but in some sense I do need to understand the idea of war.
Yeah, you're right. And it also helps us to face the reality. We understand how bad and cruel the reality is. This way we can actually understand war more. So I totally agree with you on this. Johnny, so you asked me what's been going on, and I did not tell you, right? First of all, man, I never had a chance to thank you for that amazing campaign, the NAFO truck campaign we did together with you. Like, thank you in person. It was a blast. Oh yeah, live long, prosper, and donate. And let me show yours. Don't show it yet.
Well, this is our joint one. I am showing that, which was pretty damn cool. Thank you so much to all the people involved with designing this, Chris and JR and your guy as well. Is it Andreas? Yeah, that's what's on my mug of tea as well. Check that out. Yeah, woohoo!
Nice. Nice cup you have there. Mug, sorry. Sorry that I'm chewing a bit. Just taking the mad for my throat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was really good to work together on that campaign, and you got to see the vehicles off as well, which is fantastic. I think, didn't you? You were there for that one. Is that right?
Yeah, of course. I'm basically I just missed 2 handovers in the last almost 2 years.
Right.
So, and that was of course, when we are handing over the trucks from our campaigns, I'm always there. Or, yeah, something, of course, may prevent me from going there. But I handed over those 4 trucks that we raced for together with you and Roman Trochemet. And there were the guys from... Guys, who were they? They were the guys from, first of all, we can go back and check. Maybe you remember, Johnny. The 26th Artillery Brigade. These are the first guys. Remember them? They got 2 trucks from us.
Yes, and there was a black truck as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, 1 black, 1 green. I'm looking for their patch here at my table. Let me give me a minute. I want to show it. Of course, there's also one on my board, but yeah, here it is. Johnny, did 69 Sniffer Brigade send this one to you?
No.
I need to give this one to you then, because...
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, this one, and also the 93rd Brigade. Man, I need to also send you this patch, because that's what I got from them there on the handover event.
Oh, sweet as well. Like, I've got some space on my display that I need to put up here. So, that would go nicely there. I would absolutely love that, Rick. Yeah, I'll send you my address and send you payment for sending those over.
No, yeah, thank you. I wanted to say no worries. But yes, these 2 patches, and there was also... Oh my god, the patch... Oh my god, the 3rd unit was Da Vinci Wolves. Right?
Oh, wow.
They have this unit in Da Vinci Wolves. Unfortunately, I still don't have this extra patch, but, or to be honest, I had 2 of them. One, you see, I placed it on my board, and the second one I raffled, and one of the rollers got it. But I'm gonna ask them for, you know what? I'm gonna send you mine, and ask them for 1 more for me. So you definitely gotta have the patches from all 3 units. Okay.
Well, so I'll give you a nice donation to your NAFO campaign for that, and do with that what you will.
No worries, my friend. Sorry that I was slacking on it. I wanted to do it for a long time now. But putting it here for now, we'll definitely send this one together with these 2 patches to you. It's
exciting. I need to make sure I've got some of our patches as well, and some of your patches. So I need to work out a way of somehow getting those to people that do maybe some fundraising. Contact me somehow, and I'll get you some things. I don't know. I've got spare patches to send as well. I have to think about
that. About the patches from campaign.
From our campaign. Yeah. The 3. I've got a load of them.
I also have some of them. Well, I usually, since I go to those free Azov rallies and meet a lot of interesting, inspiring people, or invite people to my coffee shop streams, I usually gift some of those patches to them. So I found a way to give them out. Since you're not in Ukraine, it's much harder for you to give them out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Not many people come around my house to talk about Ukraine, just in a minute randomly. I'd love them to. I've got, and it's been there for got to be 2 years now. But in my front lounge window, facing the road, I do have a printed off Ukrainian flag, Ukrainian army flag, so people know whenever they ring on my door that Ukraine. So yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Random question, Rick.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Just
No
wondering
problem.
how old is Rick and JP too? Well, Sarah is. It's rude to ask. I am 48 years young.
I am 34 years young.
There you go. There's the diamond information. Sorry, Rick. Carry on.
No, I was actually, we interrupted each other, so it was not like I was saying something. Thank you, Rick and JP from Mr. Kaplan here on my channel. Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. And what else? I also wanted to thank Nikki Hill for 10 gifted memberships. Maybe you have someone to thank for fan funding.
Well, I want to actually just say this live co-stream. It's not going to be a massively long one, but as in compared to, I know some of yours are very long, but for me this will probably be about an hour, and then I have to shoot. But this is going to be a sort of helping your campaign, your NAFO campaign, gather some momentum. I'm doing a Jigger Sport campaign, but we're all in this together. And so at this time, I'll just hand the platform over to you for your campaign. Maybe
I ask you to show it on the screen. The patches.
I'm just about to.
There.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I will describe them or kind of talk about them, about the patches. I mean.
Yeah,
but before I do that, JP, tell me which one of these three is your favorite.
Of my patches that we did, like mine, yours, like these three.
Yeah, let's begin with them, but then go for my campaign, my current campaign.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah, that makes more sense. Right,
no,
your three. So I'll show them. No, it's fine. Let's have a look at let's have a look at yours here. So, this is Rick the Ukrainian 11th campaign. That's how many you've done for NAFO. Goodness me, and you have a huge amount already raised for this. 36,179 out of 64,250. So that's a huge campaign you're running here, mate. No wonder you need some extra momentum there, because that's huge.
Yeah, man, we've been raising that for just a bit more than a month. It's a pretty good result, pretty good pace. But remember, our communities combined raised 80,000, even more than 80,000 in less than 4 weeks. It was in 3.5 weeks, man. So I really need the help of your community. Guys, ATP Geopolitics fans, Tippelin philosophers, we rollers need your help with this campaign. Yeah, please check the patches. So the one in the center, in my opinion, is the central one in this campaign, because you see, first, without that part. So this patch in Drones We Trust, of course, it's a play of words, just like in God We Trust. In the dollar bill, right, there is that pyramid with an all-seeing eye. And you see, the all-seeing eye is different these days. The all-seeing eye is a camera of a drone. And there, in Donbass, they don't have pyramids, but they have something else, Johnny, and you have seen that. Do you remember what mountains, what pyramids we have in Donbass?
Well, you've got your spoilings heaps, your tailings heaps, the mine slag heaps.
Yes, we call them terracon in Ukraine.
Yeah, terracons.
So this is the terracon, and of course the all-seeing eye of an FPV drone, a weapon that changed the face of the battlefield forever. Now you guys have the chance to commemorate that ultimate modern weapon, and also, also the all-seeing eye, I think. If you trust in drones just like we Ukrainians do, you got to get this patch. I hope this was a pretty decent advertisement for it.
Yeah, it's a good explanation. Nice one. And you've got, of course, a bit of baby Yoda thrown in as well, with some made of borscht with you. I've got a lot of time for borscht. You see, I'm normally a vegan, right? Mainly I'm like a 90% vegan. But when I was in Ukraine at times, I did, try and stick to it, but it's quite difficult. And there are some decent borschts I've had over there with packed with all sorts of fun and games. It's the national dish really of Ukraine, and fabulous. So you got Baby Yoda chowing down on that, which is fantastic. And
which is the most like how do you call that? The more mainstream patch among these three. Okay, so this one is looking at many directions or aiming for many different tastes, I would say. But the borscht is the tastiest thing on this patch. So guys, if you ever tried Ukrainian borscht, you definitely gotta get this patch. And the third one, Johnny, you wanted to comment on the third one.
Well, but third one, obviously, Patriot system, which is super important and very topical at the moment, actually, given what the US is, or there's so much to be said about what's going on with the Patriots. A little bit of news that we hear today is that the Swiss Patriots that have been ordered back in, I don't know when it was, 2020 or something like that, they've been put on hold, and Ukraine are going to get the prioritization there of Patriots. So, but then we're still unsure of exactly where these are coming from. So I presume they're going to be building Patriots, sending them out to Germany, and then Germany are going to be giving, for example, Germany are going to be giving Ukraine their hopefully PAC-3 Patriot systems that can take down ballistic missiles. But anyway, you got that one on your patch there. It's pretty important, Patriot.
Yeah, you should remember the collection of my patches, right? All those weapons as the tiers of the subscriptions on my channel and paid subscription platforms like Bradley. I probably gave you some of them.
I haven't got the Bradley, so I've got Abrams, and I've got the Ukrainian palm tree one.
I also had on the NAFO truck campaigns. I had HIMARS, Javelin, Bradley, Stinger. And now we got the Patriot. So it's actually the 6th patch in this collection. And there's only one left. And it's not a spoiler. It's going to be F-16 someday. I really hope that our F-16s will finally be used as needed, not for air defense, but
offensively.
For offense. It will be more beneficial for us and much safer for soldiers, because sorry, not for soldiers but for pilots, because why we lost a few pilots of F-16s.
Yeah, shooting down the Shahed drones and getting the blast, really, or the debris from the drones taking out the F-16s. I think that's happened a couple of times, which is a real shame.
Yeah, it's such a stupid tragedy that could be easily avoided, and we lost at least 2 or 3 of our best pilots who were also leaders. They were moving the F-16 initiative forward, and they played a big role in making sure they arrive to Ukraine. They were advocating, they were really doing a lot. So, okay, Johnny, you got to tell me which one is your favorite of these 3.
Well, I don't know, actually. I like the fact that you have your own stylization there. You've got your own style that is consistent, and I do like that. And so, that Patriot one does fit in well with your style and with your other vehicles. But I guess, if you've got all those other vehicle ones, then maybe in drones we trust, then there's a bit of thought goes into that, as you were telling me, and I like that. So when we did the patches for our NAFO campaigns, a lot of thought went into the symbolism in them. So our first one, for example, was the 42nd Epistemology Battalion, which is that one there, and there's loads of symbolism all over that patch. that loads of thought went into every element of that, and I like
Yeah.
that. So the fact that you were explaining all those different things, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess in drones we trust, because again, like the normal saying for that is in God we trust, and I'm not particularly a godly person, Rick, as well, you know, but it's interesting that artillery was initially seen as the god of war, right? That's what it's known as, particularly in the Soviet era of warfare. And I think it's been replaced now, the god of war, by drones. Drones really are, statistically, they are killing more people on the battlefield and wounding more people than artillery. Whereas a bit earlier on in the war, artillery was responsible for sort of 80%, maybe even more, of battlefield casualties. That's now pretty much been replaced by drones, being somewhere between 2/3 and 80% of casualties now come from drones. So it's a god of war, and if you're Ukrainian, you've got to trust that god is going to be doing the business for you.
Thank you. I'm actually very happy that this one you like the most, and it plays along with your secularity, right?
Yeah,
Secular?
secularism. Yeah.
Secularism. By the way, we got a donation on that campaign already from Roland. Thank you, Roland. Roland G. I can, of course, say the full second name, but maybe you don't want it, Roland. Thank you for your donation. Guys, so how can you donate? Johnny put the link into the description of his stream, I guess.
Yeah, Cheryl's also put it on the live stream, so thank you, Cheryl. She's
you, Cheryl.
a legend.
So yeah, guys, go there, read the description. We raising funds for 3 units right now. We need 3 trucks. 2 of them are going to be NAFO trucks. One of them is going to be for the 3rd Assault Brigade. I think this one will be delivered already this week, when the handover event will happen, and we already have money for this truck. But we only have to raise 2,000 euros to get to the 2nd truck. So guys, we actually have a chance with your help to do it today. So then we will also have to raise funds for the drone bus. Johnny, do you know about these NAFO drone buses?
Possibly. Do you mean like a van, a minivan, or an actual drone bus?
No. A minivan that has like a working station in it for 2 or 3 people. Like
talk us through what they're like.
So yeah, they're basically, they have tables. They're inside, and monitors, so they can like connect their laptops, or just use the monitor, for example, for the drones, instead of the tablets. I think it's also possible with some connectors. And that bus is more expensive. If the NAFO truck is 19.5 thousand euros today, then that drone bus is 21.5. So it's 2,000 euros more expensive. So we're aiming for this one for 118th Brigade, and also a Mavic 3T drone for them. So we, I think, probably put it for last. But I didn't tell you which to which unit the 2nd truck, the like regular NAFO truck, will go. It will go to 65th Brigade, 7 separate battalion. You can see the videos from the soldiers on that page. Probably Johnny is also scrolling through that if he's not reading the chat.
There
I
it
don't
is.
know.
It is there on the screen for you.
So basically, we we already have the money for 1 truck. We're really close to get the money for the 2nd truck, and in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we need to raise the remaining 25,000 euros. That's a big goal, but a lot of channels are already helping us, including you, Johnny. Thank you for also joining into promoting this campaign. We really have cool patches there, and we already have 250 donations being made to this campaign. 256 actually at this point, or maybe even more. Let me see. Yeah, I think 57 even.
258 is coming up with now. That's gone up 9 since I refreshed my screen. So that's good. That's obviously 9 people have donated since I put this screen up. So it's excellent.
This, yeah. So I basically see.
There you go. So 258 there. It was 249. I refreshed it, 258. So that's really good news. Thank you to all those who
Oh,
have
58. It did not
already
even
helped.
update on my side. It's
That's because
257 here.
yeah, that's because basically NAFO know that I'm just a little bit cooler, and they like
I
give me
know.
priority. They're just like, you know.
It's not only you though, you know.
So yeah, so let us give us a sense, Rick, of how people are feeling on the ground in Ukraine at the moment, because quite a lot's been happening recently. The US have sort of changed course a bit, but I've been a little bit disappointed. I was hoping that it'll be more than just selling stuff, that they'll be actually giving some aid packages from what's called Presidential Drawdown Authority, where they can give from their own stocks to Ukraine. That hasn't come, but it may at some point come. So I was like, there was a lot of excitement at the beginning with Trump saying, I'm going to make this big announcement. And then it's amounted to selling a bunch of stuff to Germany. And actually, we should be congratulating Germany and Denmark and all these countries that are now coming together to buy this stuff. They're the people we should be congratulating.
And
So
thanking also.
yeah, that's what I mean. And also, Ukraine needs some offensive weapons. Like, they need defensive weapons, of course they do. They need Patriots, of course they do. But they also need some help with striking Russian targets and other sorts of equipment. So like it's like, yeah, good, okay, not quite as good now. Now I'm just like, you know, as the Ukrainians are under pressure, a lot of pressure in the Pokrovsk area, and things are looking pretty hairy there. I'm just like, I'm like I have been all this war, up and down, up and down, up and down. But tell me what people are feeling in Ukraine.
Oh man. Well, first of all, different Ukrainians are feeling different things,
Mm.
and what I can say, the front line is not crumbling, but it's not very good there. The problem is we lack people. We lack soldiers. And lately, we lose a lot of territory. You probably noticed that in June and July, we lost like too much territory comparing to the beginning of the year. It was pretty, like, more or less stable. But lately, it's been speeding up there, especially on Novopavlivsky direction and of course, Pokrovsk from the side of Mirnograd. They're just going around Pokrovsk, and they're unfortunately successful there. And it's not like like Ukrainians, are fighting bad or not effective. The problem is Russians are outnumbering us. And I hear a lot of bad reports from the soldiers that the situation with tearing the units apart and sending battalions of one brigade to different directions, and even sometimes companies of one of one battalion to different directions, you see. And this is a big problem, and soldiers are also talking about the biggest problem. I don't know, Johnny, if you hear about this outside, but the biggest problem here that has been mentioned by soldiers is that there's a constant lie in the reports to the higher command on every level. So if, let's say, a company loses the position, right? That company will not tell to the battalion commander that they lost a position. They will lie and say that everything is under control, hoping to regain that position, to take it back in the next few days. But often it's not happening. And that lie has been transferred from a battalion commander to the brigade commander, and brigade commander and battalion commander, they're just clueless. And then it's been transferred higher and higher, and it is coming to our commander in chief, and he doesn't even know that some of the brigades is losing the positions. And it's totally not like there. This is no excuse for any rank, for generals, for commander in chief, for lieutenants, captains. Any rank should be saying the truth. But we have this Soviet tradition of really being scared of upsetting our um, superior. You see, in the army, this thing is really playing really bad joke on us, and unfortunately, this situation is something that, mm, like, we cannot do much about this, and people were trying. You know that amazing commander, the most decent one of them, Mikhailo Drapaty, who the
Yeah.
first one in history of Ukrainian army resigned because he failed to accomplish um, one of the tasks. He resigned. We never had this.
Well,
Not a
so
single one of them had.
he resigned because there was a strike. There was an Iskander strike that took out a training ground, and he actually took responsibility for that. So he had been made.
Yeah.
What had he been made? The Ground Forces Commander, or
Yes. Yes.
so, and then he actually said, "Look, it was a lovely, not lovely is probably the wrong word. He is a really well put together sort of resignation message that he wrote, saying, look, this is unacceptable. I said that I had stopped this from happening. This happened and something went wrong, blah, blah, blah. But because he's a well-respected person, you know that like you can't lose someone like that. So
Yeah.
he was then moved back into his original command position. But that was really good to see someone actually accepting responsibility, even though
Yeah.
that it probably wasn't really his fault. He was ultimately responsible for it.
Yeah.
But that was good to see. But there are good commanders like him, and you know them because they're well respected by their troops.
You see, Jonathan, the problem is you in the West, of course, not everywhere, not every politician or bureaucrat or military commander, but it seems that you guys have this culture of taking the responsibility for the ministry or for the forces you are commanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you are leading, you're taking responsibility. If there's some major fuck up, you resign. And we don't have this in history of modern Ukraine. You won't believe it, but we had no one. So this is actually a very big and encouraging moment that yes, the situation did not turn out well, and he failed in accomplishing, well, not all of the tasks, but some of the tasks. And he talked about that in his resignation message. But he took that responsibility. And if more people will be inspired by that in the future, good commanders will be taking responsibility for the mess up of the forces that they're commanding. This will make our army much more honest and transparent because we really lack this. And he was one of the kind. Unfortunately, in my opinion, on his position, he he's not capable of like reforming the army. And you see, he was not even capable of doing that by being the commander of ground forces because it's a whole system that eats itself from the inside. You see, and it's
But
not the soldier centered system. That's the main problem. That's what he was talking about.
what's interesting is that criticism is what's been leveled at the Russians by themselves as well for the whole course of the war. So it's really interesting, the whole lying thing and lying about how much
Mhm.
ground that they've taken. Here on the Ukrainian side, you're saying that they're not telling the truth about how much they've lost. So it kind of it's the inverse. But the Russians have been accused of doing that for a long time, and their own sort of mill bloggers have been really angry about this because it then means that they're reporting to their superiors that they've taken this land and they haven't actually taken that land, and then the
Mhm.
superiors say, right, now then you need to go and take this village. Well, they haven't even got the one before, so then they have to rush and take that one. And just like you're saying, like the Ukrainians have to then say Russians take it back because they claim that they haven't lost it. And so it looks like that is a very similar thing, but I hadn't actually heard that criticism of the Ukrainians doing that. I have heard that a lot of the Russians doing that. So that is interesting to hear from you.
Yeah, you see, the problem is, it's not a problem. It's actually a situation. We Ukrainians try to speak less about the problems in Ukraine,
naturally,
because it may affect our support, right? The support from our partners. But the thing is, sometimes, first of all, I'm not very influential, and not that many people usually hear me, so I can afford to say that, to say these things, you know. I just sometimes, you know, I have the need to be honest and transparent, you know, this transparency thing that I have. So I like to speak about some problems that people don't hear about in the West. So yeah, Johnny, I have a few other things to tell you. Uh, did you notice the changes in the government that happened lately?
What, today? Yeah. I've been reporting on that quite a bit. As in the new prime minister, new defense minister, and new ambassador to the US to be. Yeah.
Do you realize that all of that is the same people? Same people from the same government, just being placed in, like, back and forth, like, just they are just changing the people. So it's all Zelensky's people. They are being on those positions for 6 years.
My read on it is it's to do with pleasing the Americans.
No, it's not only about that. It's also about pleasing the Ukrainians, because we have big problems with our Ministry of Defense right now. I don't know if you heard that in the West, but we have a lot of shady, like, ineffective stuff going on the side of Minister of Defense Umerov. So he was, like, you remember we had this shortage of FPV drones a few months ago on the front line, where soldiers were constantly reporting that there is a lack of shipments. Did you even hear about this, I wonder?
I heard one claim, because it's quite surprising, because I'd heard that the production scale of the Ukrainian drones was much higher than the Russians, and then I did hear one complaint that they weren't getting the drones. But then also you got to understand that that happens, you know, the front line isn't just one homogenous front line, right? That different units get priorities, and some are much better at getting equipment than others, and then so on and so forth. So anyway, I was thinking it might be part of that. But
you see, the problem is there are two agencies in Ministry of Defense that are actually doing the work of signing the contracts, contracting, all of that. So those two agencies, they had a pause for a few months in their work, because Minister of Defense did not want it, like, the process to be transparent. And he wanted to hide some, like, questionable stuff. Our society, Ukrainian society, had questions to our Minister of Defense, like, where did this 20 billion hryvnias go? Can you please tell us how many of the drones were actually supplied from the contracted drones for 20 billion hryvnias? Okay, so what they did, they just ignored all of those requests from the press. So and if they had those drones supplied, or at least a significant part of those drones, they would definitely give us those numbers. They have something to hide. And that, unfortunately, is just ineffective management of the contracting in the Ministry of Defense. What he then did, the Minister of Defense, he basically took... So these two ministries, look at this, Johnny. Oh my God, this is like my camera zoomed in. But what I wanted to say that it's important. Do you even need all of these details? Because I want to explain how it works.
Please.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it's an interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Because I like to also explain this to my community. So, guys, what we have in Ministry of Defense, we have this DOT, Державний оператор тилу, so the state operator of the rear, it is called. It is meant to supply the army not with weapons, but with all the other stuff, like food, clothes, and any other supplies that our army need, right? So this one is called DOT. Next one, AOZ. So AOZ, Агенція оборонних закупівель, the agency of the defense buyings. Let's call it this way. So this one were supposed to buy weapons specifically. So what Minister Umerov did, he how do you call that? He fired the director of the agency of the defense buyings. He fired her, and he appointed the director of the state operator of rear, a director of the agency of the defense buyings. So basically, he made one man the director of two organizations. He was the director of just one organization. He put his man at the top of both organizations, which was directly not recommended by our European partners who have their own representatives in the council that is overseeing the work of those organizations. So he did that thing, and that all of that process, it damaged the the contracting. Contracting was just not happening for 3 to 5 months, and this is why we had our soldiers receiving no drones, almost no drones. Of course, there were some drones, but they failed to supply the drones in the last few months because of that gap. And there's also a lot of shady stuff, like with big sums of money being just given to the border guard, billions of hryvnias, and not accounted into those two agencies or an organization. You see, is it understandable?
Mm.
So we have this big problem, and our society is already very mad at the Minister of Defense for all this shit that I just explained. And Zelensky is appointing the former prime minister as a minister of defense. Let's hope he's going to be working as a minister of defense and not as an ambassador. Because did you notice that Minister Umerov was mostly abroad? He was not managing the Ministry of Defense in Ukraine. He was meeting our partners. He was taking part. He was the head of the delegation in Istanbul in negotiations with Russia. Like, what the fuck he was doing? Why our Minister of Defense was always out of the country doing the diplomatic work?
Yeah, well, see, this is a problem that actually kind of, because you need that as well, but therefore
but
you
we
might
have
need
Minister of Foreign Affairs.
yeah. So Andriy Sybiha, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, but so you almost need like two defense ministers, because like the defense minister needs to obviously coordinate everything in the country in terms of all the armed forces, but they also need to be getting as much kit for the armed forces as possible from abroad. And so and so there is a value obviously to both of those aspects of the job, but then you're only one person with one amount of time. And so because it is so super important, like basically Ukraine have to go around the world scrimping and scrabbling for stuff from every single nation. I mean, that is the job of the Ukrainian foreign minister and defense minister. And so yeah, I understand that, but then you've also got all the issues within the organizations in Ukraine that need to be solved.
Yeah, exactly. So he completely focused on the work of Minister of Foreign Affairs. Of course, he knows the defensive needs better, right, as a Minister of Defense. But the problem is, while he was focused on that, and I assume he succeeded in that, because, look, Putin helped with that a lot, but Trump is already saying that he's going to be sending Ukraine some patriots. That's a first good step. But anyway, while he was focused on that, the situation in Ministry of Defense got totally fucked up. Meanwhile, so this is why I think if our new Minister of Defense, Denis Shmyhal, former Prime Minister, is going to be working only as defense minister and not going to be like going around the world and well, scrapping weapons, as you say, right? Then it's going to be a progress, definitely, and we will see our Ministry of Defense working much better and more effectively. So I'm really hoping, and I think it's what it's going to be, because what Zelensky said, he didn't say he he fired Umerov. He said that Umerov will be helping with Ministry of Defense in the United States. So he appointed the new Minister of Defense, but he kind of like the old one remained, and the old one is going to be traveling to United States and dealing with all of that. So it's just like you said, we need two ministers of defense.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, actually. That's a good bit of information, because I didn't know what Umarov was going to do. I'd heard that he might be put in some kind of national security council, but that would make sense, because he's got connections, family connections in America anyway. And America's like really important, despite all the criticisms of the Trump administration. Like, getting the US on side is so vital for the Ukrainians. And so I think Denis Shmyhal going from prime minister to defense minister is good, like, in principle. Like, I probably don't know enough about Shmyhal personally, but those contacts and that experience he has of being the prime minister of Ukraine and taking that to the defense minister, I don't think that's necessarily a move downwards. It would be in any other country at any other time. But if you're at war, going from prime minister to defense minister is freaking important now. So if he can do that job, and if Umarov can then do the foreign part of that job with the US particularly, that's massively important. And then you've got Sviridenko, who you're obviously going to know way more than me here, but I get a sense that she's, from being the deputy prime minister to then becoming the prime minister, and also being at the head of the delegation, really, or one of the main people at the delegation for Istanbul and the negotiations with the Americans and the Russians. So she's got a lot of contacts and a lot of experience working at a high level to go into prime ministership, I think. So yeah, although you're saying these are all the same kind of inner circle group of people being moved around, I still think there's some sense to what has taken place.
Yeah, you're right. I think it could be really beneficial, and I think Zelensky is doing this just to trying to appoint more effective managers on their places, and to find their best place. And I think he is trying to do the best thing here. Understandable. It's just this a bit of frustration for us Ukrainians that instead of putting some new faces there and new, like, maybe talented young specialists who are there to change things, they are just like shuffling that people who are there for 6 years. Anyway, I will be optimistic in this, and I tell you that definitely Shmyhal is Shmyhal, what he, after all, he's prime ministry for the last 3.5 years, managed to keep country stable, and our institutions are working pretty well. I think, of course, it's not only him, but the big team, right? But still, we gotta be honest with ourselves and give him a credit for a pretty good result in stability of our country and institutions.
Do you know what? I think that's absolutely right. I mean, it's incredible that Ukraine is functioning in the way it is, given what it's been through. I mean, we take it for granted now, but certainly from the outside. But it's absolutely astounding that Ukraine went from having Russians surrounding Kiev to now being effectively a functioning. Yeah, it's an economy on its knees. Of course, it is because of the war, but it is still functioning. There's money going all over the shop from all these different sources, and there's never enough, but then sometimes probably too much in certain areas. And it's just I don't know how. Like, I was thinking about the actual practicalities the other day of being in the finance department or whatever it is, like your treasury, if you like, and the amount of money that is going to Ukraine, but then all strings attached and having to repay this loan to these people, to the IMF, to the EU, to the US, because there'll be strings attached to so much money that's coming into Ukraine. People are maybe kind of in a sense throwing money at Ukraine, but they'll expect that money back largely. There's some of it will be granted, some of it will be in aid, but some of it, a lot of it is going to be loans that have to be repaid. And I just like imagine what the freaking the ledgers are looking like for the Ukrainian like bank accounts. Basically, there must just be so much stuff like to keep a handle on what's going on in the Ukrainian like treasury. It's just incredible. Like just
and
gives me a headache.
In the last 3 years, I only heard like once or twice about some of Shmyhal's fuck ups or negligence, any of that. So it's not that bad. His reputation, I would say, is not that bad, at least for the last 3 years. I don't know what was happening before that, unfortunately. But another thing I wanted to mention is that Sviridenko's reputation is not that bad. There's nothing like, no scandals, no corruption cases against her. So this is also a good sign. We, for example, have another case. You've probably seen the new ambassador, still not an ambassador, but like a representative.
Envoy, she's been called the envoy,
Stefanishina was appointed. On the other hand, Stefanishina has the case opened for corruption here in Ukraine.
Right.
So, that's not a very good thing. But still, opened case is still not not a proven case, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There's still like
innocent till proven guilty. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope she's going to be effective and she will convince Trump to give us F-35 boats. Atomic boats with tomahawks will be also pretty good, and a few atomic bombs will be fantastic.
Well, I shared this quote from Jimmy Rushton, who is a security analyst based in Kiev, and I thought this was a really spot-on quote from him. So he said, the moment that Trump was elected by the American people, the one job the Ukrainian government had was to minimize the damage Trump could do to Ukraine. And they're doing a relatively good job. Personal feelings about Trump are entirely irrelevant. And I think that's a really good point. So, you had the ambush of Zelensky in the Oval Office by JD Vance and Trump, and that was probably the worst point for the relationship. But essentially, the job of the Ukrainian government at the moment, vis-a-vis the United States, is to minimize the damage that Trump can do. And the fact that he's now turned around and is selling aid to Ukrainian allies is a good thing is a good reflection of the job that the Zelensky administration have managed in the last sort of 6 months, because it's tough. The US is in such a weird place at the moment difficult job.
They did a great job. To be honest, this team, Zelensky, his team, the government and their team, they are doing an outstanding work in terms of the external relations, right? And they are really good.
It's just managing the interior stuff that's difficult, right?
That is something that hurts for us Ukrainians, but we're not talking about that much because it's like it might be damaging for us, and for those who work effectively on the diplomatic front. So we don't share much of that hell that is happening inside. Anyway, sometimes we do. Johnny, I see the time soon will come to say
Yes.
goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Let's maybe show the campaign once again to those
Yep. I
people
was
who joined the stream later.
absolutely. I just wanted to show just a random thing here.
Mhm.
Thank you to BME who is in the chat who got one of my mugs today. That's really kind. And I'm not
One of
trying to
what?
one of
Sorry.
my mugs, the NAFO mugs.
Ah, nice.
I'm just showing it on the screen at the moment. I just want to say thank you. Like, I'm not really trying to be spammy or anything or sell more merchandise. I'm more excited about the design of the patches getting out there. I mean, the cut I get on merchandise is minuscule, and it's expensive stuff. This merchandise, so I'm just really thankful when people do like I know John P here said I've been after one of JP's hoodies for ages. A couple of months ago, I had a little spare cash, so I bought a hoodie and a cap. Been skint ever since. Feel gutted when I can't donate. So I'd much rather people donated, obviously, than got any hoodies. But I also love to see like ATP geopolitics hoodies, just because that's kind of cool. I think I've won life when that happens. But anyway, more important stuff is the campaign at the moment. Let me get the campaign information up again because I'm on a different browser now. And we'll see.
Thank you
Have
very
you
much.
managed to get any more donations since we've been talking?
I got two from the rollers, at least. Yeah, actually, Cheryl is your moderator, right? If
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Cheryl is also a Tiplin philosopher, just like you. So
she's a
not
legend.
only a roller. So she donated 100 euros, saying the
Thank you,
next
Cheryl.
thing. So glad to see Rick and JP together. Two essential voices. Slava Ukraini. Героям слава. Thank you. Oh, wait, it was Kathy S. Sorry, Cheryl, it was not you.
Cheryl's
Shit.
like, I'm amazing. I'm so good. I haven't even donated, and I'm getting a thanks
Oh,
from
it
you.
was.
Woo!
Anyway, thank you for moderation work there
Yeah,
on JP's channel. And thank you, Kathy, for this donation. And Kaom, Mr. Kaplan, donated 300 euros. He's one of
that's
the
incredible.
rollers. Thank you very much. But I think also anonymously we had something from your guys. Maybe not, guys. Tell us if someone donated but kept it anonymous. Anyway, JP, I guess may I read the super chat on your channel? I'm also
Yeah, of course you
checking
can.
your chat. It's BME 5 Great Britain pound super chat. A little something for Ukrainian wine fund. Tea tasters, tastes great in the new ATP NAFO mug. Slava Ukraini.
Woohoo!
Героям
Thanks,
слава.
Bearme. What a legend. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. I'm going to say a few thanks, if I may, as well,
Yeah.
Rick. Thanks to Johnny Nevergard from Norway. Thanks for your support of the channel. Thanks to Kevin Forst, really kind gift of memberships, and Rick the Ukrainian. Some love given from Rick. So I'll be sending you some love as well. Yeah, thank you. That's really super
Johnny,
generous.
I just saw no one is gifting memberships, and I decided to lead by example. And you see, after that, Kevin Frost bought some.
First, yeah, absolutely.
Forced, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's really kind. Thank you. So you are obviously doing all the things that you always do. You're still doing your coffee shop
Yeah,
recordings, which
streams.
I was privileged enough to be at one live when I was out in Kiev not too long ago. And then we we didn't meet actually at the old Free Azov rally.
Yeah,
But we
we
were
were
there
across the
together.
street.
We were across the street. Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm doing those. I'm doing the Free Azov stream every Sunday. And these days it's easier for Americans, for example, to visit it because now it's at 5 p.m. Ukrainian time and it's not the middle of the night for them. And yeah, we have amazing stories there. So guys, if you want to, if you don't know about this, these rallies are happening in Kyiv and other Ukrainian towns and cities every week, and we stand for our captives. But wait, Jonathan was making a report from there. You know about that. Anyway, I talk to people there. I do a live stream from there, and I hear some amazing, inspiring stories. So if you want to hear some someday first of all, you may visit the stream. But secondly, I have a second channel called Roll In with Rick, where we post clips from the Free Azov rallies of the most interesting stories. And to be honest, I would say 99%, okay, maybe it's too much, 95% of them are super interesting. And every Ukrainian who says, I actually have nothing to tell you, tells such a crazy
Everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's got
story.
experience of the war in some way, haven't they?
Yeah, and it's so cool, fantastic, and inspiring. It gives me a lot of energy. Those Free Azov streams, man. I also keep dubbing my not my but interviews of Zolkin and Karpenko with Russian prisoners of war. And if I may share a link with you, and you share it with your audience, because the last one was shadow banned, and was watched like with sorry that's the word, by around 5,000 people, comparing to the one before that one, which was watched by 50,000 people. So it's 10 times less people watched it. Let me send you the link real quick, and yeah, if you would be so kind to share it with rollers. So guys, this one, indeed, the one that was not watched by many people, might not be the most interesting one, but still, it perfectly shows the obedience of a typical Russian slave, and how they will just do whatever they are told. And I am sending this one to you, Johnny, finally. It's on WhatsApp, so you can share it in the chat if you want.
Yeah.
So this video, but the previous one, the one before it, oh yeah, that one was pretty awesome. And that Russian soldier was super arrogant, and he was just, yeah, he was just very brazen and constantly trying to convince Zolkin that he's not right and stuff like that. So, Watch Dogs.
Tell us just, I guess, before we kind of end the stream, tell us what your main takeaways are from the prisoners who are interviewed. Are there any commonalities, or is everyone quite different? Do they all still support Russia overtly? Do any of them have some kind of understanding that they may have been brainwashed, or whatever? What can you learn?
Of course, some of them do. You see, the problem is when they are given these interviews, they are only like in 5% cases being completely honest. Usually they are afraid of what's going to happen to them in
Right.
Russia.
Okay.
And that's what all of them, almost all of them, it's like 1 of 100 will be completely honest and will call Putin a war criminal and something like that. Sometimes it happens, but mostly they are just being silent. If there's something that they would like to agree with, but being afraid to agree with it, they will just be silent and not respond to the question, or just say like, yeah, like, and the thing is, there are always interesting details that are happening in the latest interviews. Because I'm dubbing the old ones, because Zolkin is not allowing to repost the newer interviews, and they are getting instantly banned. And I'm not even risking to post them in any other platforms, because who knows, maybe they sue me because I'm a Ukrainian and they are also Ukrainians. So this may happen. But what I wanted to say, the latest interviews, there's one thing that is already proven a few times, that after the exchange, they're being sent to the front line right away. Russian prisoners of war are not being repatriated, and Russia is not following any Geneva Conventions. So they are just sending them right away as a cannon fodder to storm the positions again and again. And most of them don't survive the second time. It's really hard to survive it. You see, another thing, like Zolkin and Karpenko, mostly Karpenko, he's making conclusions about all Russians, like, you all are like either not smart, or you don't have education, you were in prison. But it's just statistically, most of the Russians who are not dumb, they're not ending up in this so-called special military operation. It's just statistics that mostly poor people who are completely choked by Russian system. They cannot go what they cannot avoid that. Johnny, may I ask you to show the fundraiser on the screen, because I distracted you at some point and we did not show it the second time, I guess. I mean the NAFO truck campaign, if you don't mind.
Yep, it's there. It's up there for you.
Thank you. So, guys, once again, I ask you for your help. Me, my community, Starsky's community, Georgie's community from Ukraine Matters, Ukrainian Anna already helped us with this campaign. And we need your help because, unfortunately, the resources of our community are limited. And I think we almost reached our capacity and we still need to raise almost, a bit less than 30,000 euros now. It's around 43% of the campaign still left to raise. So please donate, get the awesome patches. If you scroll down, Johnny, you will see patches in a bigger scale. Scroll down a bit. So there are 3 awesome patches that you can get for donations of 100 euros for each patch. In Drones We Trust, the one that is central in this campaign, and not just because it's standing between 2 other patches. And that's the main one for me. May the Borscht, by the way, man, I needed to point out that you see the transliteration of Borscht.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I normally would have a T on the end.
Yeah, it's a Ukrainian one. There's no T there. We say Borscht. We don't say T in the end. We don't even have it in our spelling. So it's actually a patch that already existed in NAFO truck campaign. Sukamaimus was creating the same patch, just with a different pattern, and there was a letter T there. And I said, I want this patch, but with the Ukrainian spelling, okay? Let's do it. And 69 Sniffer Brigade agreed. They said, okay, maybe we just change it a bit. Let's add Yoda there. So they helped a lot with design, and it worked out pretty well. So, guys, if you never tried Borscht, definitely try it. But if you tried it once, you are basically obliged to buy this patch. Okay, I won't go that far, not obliged, but you would like to get it, of course. And the Patriot patch that continues the collection of the weapons that help us survive here in Ukraine. You see, Patriot system not just hit many ballistic missiles, but it also got down a few planes and helicopters on Russian territory. You remember those days, my friend?
I'm hoping that with the new Patriots going being sold from the US, coming from Germany and Norway and Denmark and whoever else is funding them, I am definitely hoping that they are going to be able to move one close to the border or the front lines to be able to really take out some planes that are dropping the guided glide bombs. That's what I've been wanting for so long.
Unfortunately, Russians, I think, have taken down that system, the one that was hunting their plane. So it's a super dangerous.
Yeah, it's high risk. Yep, high risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm. And the reward was pretty high, but unfortunately, I think there were some casualties, not only in the weapons, but also in people, and it's very sad. But it's war, and you see at war, not only the infantry are dying, everyone could be killed. You heard, Johnny, you 100% heard about the 110th Brigade commander being killed a few weeks ago by Russian strike. They take out our brigade commanders too.
No, I don't think I did. Maybe not, actually, no.
Yeah, it happened around 3 or 4 weeks ago. He was a very good commander by the report of the soldiers. They respected him. He was not a Soviet type of commander. He was modern, and he was killed. So even a brigade commander can be killed. Russians are, unfortunately, they are an effective army, and they can also reach their goals. We must never underestimate our enemy.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to show this tomorrow. I was just looking for it then. I've just found it. Iskander M with an airburst warhead took out the control station of a Ukrainian Lyuty drone team, as well as the Shahed strike on the launcher of a Lyuty drone. So these are the drones that the Germans are helping fund as well. That should be coming out soon. Yeah, and it looks like a successful strike on those. And I've been wondering about that actually, about how successful the Russians have been in taking out the launcher sites of things like the Lyuty, and so this makes sense that they have had some success.
Yeah, but once, because every time they have the success, they will definitely post a video. So
Oh yeah,
that
yeah, it's
that
not
says,
widespread. Yeah,
yeah, that says that they were successful only once, and we all know
mm,
how many of those drones were sent out
yeah,
and were hitting military targets on Russian territory.
yeah,
Unlike Russians who are sending their ballistic missiles and Shahed drones on the civilian blocks, of course, not only on the civilian blocks, they are also hitting the military targets in Ukraine. Don't be either naive or, yeah, I won't use the other word, but because, yeah, Russians are striking our military production and military targets. They are
airfields as well. There's
sometimes.
been a lot of
Exactly.
concentration on airfields. I was just looking on that war vehicle tracker there. In fact, 16th, 17th of July. So that's last night. Large fire likely caused by Russian airstrike on Orikova airfield in Dnipropetrovsk. There, so they are definitely focusing on the air infrastructure, both airfields and manufacturing facilities. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
man.
Russians are definitely causing the Ukrainians. Is not we mustn't just always focus on the Ukrainian successes. Understand that the Russians are doing a
Yep.
job on the Ukrainians as
Yep.
well. Of
And
course,
unfortunately, the Shahed drones are being very effective lately,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they're using the different tactic. They are sending like 10 Shaheeds at this almost at the same time at the same target, or 15 or 20 of them, and it's almost impossible to hit even half of them, and they're hitting the target. So I also wanted to quickly show one thing, Johnny. It's the badge that I have on the raffle this week. Have you ever seen this one?
no, no, I haven't.
So this is the badge of the 214th Separate Assault Battalion in the ground forces of Ukraine, and they have this boar. And why it is called up four? Because op is opposite, and four stands for force. So it's opposite force, up four. So I heard, actually, I read that opposite force usually they call the team who is playing the enemy in the training. They call it the opposite force, and I wonder why they call themselves the opposite force. Anyway, it's a pretty unique one, guys. Yeah, but I gotta ask JP if he's okay with me promoting my raffle on his
Yeah, you do what you
stream.
like, mate.
You guys can participate in the raffle by sending the donation to my PayPal, and you can find that one in the description of any of my videos or streams. It's an email. You buy one ticket for $10. You can buy as many of them as you want. We will raffle this one on Sunday stream, somewhere around Ukrainian midnight, maybe 1 a.m. of Monday. Yeah, that's what I just wanted to quickly mention.
And always worth reminding people that Rick is very transparent. You can see all of his. He puts up all his funding information when he does his lives and whatnot. So yeah, he's a good one. So good stuff. Well, look, Rick, thank you very much for your time. Good luck with the NAFO campaign. Hopefully, some of the ATP team can help out with that. I know that I'm also asking for donations for my own campaign with Jiggers Poor, but always good to support each
By the
other here.
way,
So,
yes,
yep.
I need to mention this, guys. The link for that campaign, for Johnny's campaign in the ATP Geopolitics community, not only Johnny's, is the first one in the description of the stream. I put it there right away. So please donate to that one. Two, let's also support Johnny's fundraiser as they supported our fundraiser. Thank you. Friends, please help him. Johnny, what are you guys raising funds for with Zig?
We're Jiggers Poor, who are awesome. They're a Lviv-based charity, and we're raising funds for the 47th Brigade and Drone Lab, and basically different parts of the drones, and you can piece together drones and whatnot. So if you go to atpgeo.com/donate, you can find out more about that. But for mainly today is about your NAFO campaign and getting that some serious momentum. So,
Thanks,
happy
man.
days.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Well, look, mate.
Johnny,
Are
it
you?
was
Are
really
you?
cool to catch up. Let's do it at,
We should
like
do it more.
in maybe a month, not in
Yeah.
half a year. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. I think that's a good idea, mate.
Okay.
Well, look. Are you continuing this stream? If I come off, are you continuing, or are you ending as well?
I'm continuing for only 5 minutes because I want people to go and watch the video from the soldier that I have
Cool.
in 5 minutes. So
I won't say
I need to
goodbye
finish
to
it.
people on your behalf, but I'll say goodbye to my team. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting. It's incredible supporting both this channel personally, it keeps the lights on, but also more importantly, the campaigns that we've got going, particularly Rick's NAFO campaign. It's a big old campaign, and it's very worthy. NAFO do an amazing job, and so does Rick. So appreciate you. Take care, buddy. Last words to the audience.
I am really grateful for all your support, guys, that you provide to Ukraine through any fundraisers, any reliable fundraisers, like Zigaspaw, like 69 Sniffer Brigade, and, well, any others. I'm not going to be mentioning myself because I also do it through PayPal. By the way, I forgot to tell you, if you buy tickets for the patch, all money will go for the car for Sofia from 525th Battalion. We're raising funds for the car. So whenever you're buying tickets, you're actually not buying anything. You're sending a donation, and that donation gives you a bonus as the tickets. That's it. I'm not not selling anything here. I'm just gathering donations and motivating you with some cool patches and flags. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Thank you once again, everyone who is watching on Johnny's side here, for your support, help of Ukrainian people, and most importantly, Ukrainian army. I definitely need to do more streams with Johnny because he's a great interlocutor, and I like to share some stuff with him, and I like when he shares some stuff with me. So let's do it more often,
For sure.
Johnny.
For sure, mate.
Thank
For
you.
sure. Okay, well, take care, everybody. You take care, Rick. Big love. And
yeah, live long, prosper, and donate.
And on that note, live long, prosper, and donate.
And donate. Bye, Jenny.